If your car was damaged in a Georgia accident, the insurance company might offer you a fast settlement. But here's the thing, fast doesn't mean fair. From lowball estimates to skip payouts, insurers count on you not knowing your rights. But once you understand how these claims really work, you'll see just how much money people leave on the table without realizing it. I'm Peter Geraci, a Georgia personal injury lawyer, and in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 key tips to help you take control of your property damage claim so that you don't let the insurance company shortchange your settlement. All right, tip number 1, get the right estimate. Don't just rely on the insurance company's repair estimate. They'll often send you to a shop they work with, and those shops are incentivized to keep costs down so they can continue to send them business. Now, here's what you should do instead. Get a second opinion from a trusted body shop. Do your own research. Go on Google, ask your friends, ask anybody else but the insurance company for the recommendation to make sure that you're going somewhere unbiased. Then what you're going to do is compare that with the insurer's estimate. If there's a difference, then you challenge it. Georgia law gives you the benefit. You have the right to choose your own repair shop. The insurer cannot force you into theirs. Now, here's a mini tip for you here. Make sure you take detailed photos of the damage right after the accident from every angle. This helps if there's ever a dispute about pre-existing damage, which frankly comes up a lot. All right, tip number 2, understand how total losses are determined. If your vehicle is borderline repairable, the insurance company might declare it a total loss. In Georgia, a vehicle is usually totaled out if the repairs cost 75% or more of its fair market value. Now, here's the catch. The insurers often undervalue your car to justify the total loss. Now, if you're not happy with the total loss, here's what you should do to counteract this. Look up comparable listings for your make, model, and year in your area. And this is important. It's got to be in your area. Make sure to scrounge up any sort of receipts for upgrades, new tires, maintenance, anything that you've done to the vehicle recently that can add value to the vehicle. And once you've done that research and added the receipts for the upgrades, maintenance, and all that, if the amount that you come up with is higher than the value assigned by the adjuster, then what you need to do is challenge the payout, provide that information to the adjuster, and tell them that, hey, my vehicle is worth way more than this. This is not a total loss. And if for whatever reason you were still above that threshold or below that threshold, however you want to look at it, and the car is still a total loss, those items will help you get a higher amount from the insurance company for your total vehicle. All right, tip number 3, know your rental car rights. If you weren't at fault, you are entitled to a rental car while your vehicle is being repaired or assessed. But here's what they won't tell you. The other driver's insurance may delay coverage, so you might need to go through your own policy first if you have rental coverage, and then you'll get reimbursed later. Now, if for whatever reason you do not have rental coverage on your policy, and a lot of people don't, what you'd have to do is come out of pocket for that rental and then get reimbursed later on. The way it works here in Georgia is that you'd rent a car that's either the same as what you have or substantially the same, and you'd be able to get fully reimbursed for the rental cost incurred while you are unable to use your vehicle. The question you need to ask your agent is whether you are covered for a rental through your own policy. And if you're not, that's something I would recommend you add on to your policy. If the at-fault driver's insurer is dragging their feet, and it happens more often than you'd think, I would recommend that you file under your own policy and let your carrier subrogate. What that means is basically your insurance carrier would take on the repair, the cost, all that stuff, and then they would go after the other insurance carrier for reimbursement. That's all that means. And it doesn't affect your insurance premiums, anything like that, because you were not at fault in the incident. Now, here's the thing. Generally, once the at-fault driver's insurer accepts coverage, accepts liability, and provides you with the rental car, they're only going to provide you that rental car for up to 30 days. It doesn't really matter how long your repairs take. And we've seen some repairs take months and months and months on end. They're only going to direct pay for the rental for up to 30 days. Now, that doesn't mean you can't go and get a rental car later on and pay for it out of pocket and then request reimbursement later. You are entitled to that. And if for whatever reason you do not opt to get a rental car after that initial 30-day period and your vehicle is still in the shop, then for that entire period where your vehicle is in the shop after you gave the rental car back, you can request reimbursement for what's called loss of use. Now, loss of use damages are typically calculated based on a rental reimbursement rate, a daily rental reimbursement rate. And this effectively allows you to be reimbursed an amount equivalent to what they would have paid for a rental car. And the whole reason for that is you are unable to use your vehicle, right? It's in a shop, you can't use it. So you are entitled to reimbursement for not being able to use the car or reimbursement for a rental. All right, tip number 4, watch for diminished value. Even after repairs, your car might be worth less simply because it was in an accident. It can be a really, really simple accident, very minimal, but just because it was involved in an accident, your car is likely going to lose value. The technical term for it is called depreciation or diminished value, and you're entitled to compensation for it in Georgia, especially if you weren't at fault. You're entitled to this even if you were at fault, but it's much easier to get if you weren't at fault. But here's the thing. Most insurance companies aren't going to bring it up. They're not obligated to. So here's what you need to do. Use tools like Carfax, Kelley Blue Book, or really what I would recommend is getting a third party and independent diminished value appraisal to support your claim. There are plenty of appraisers out there that are willing to take a look at your vehicle, take a look at the repairs, and calculate the depreciation or the loss in value after the accident. Now, once you have that report or that research done, what you're going to do is submit all of that to the insurance company and push for fair compensation. Even if the car looks great, its resale value definitely took a hit. I mean, I know I would if I were to go purchase a car and I know it was involved in an accident, I want a significant discount. How do I know the car works the same? How do I know that the accident was minimal or not? You may say it was minor, but who knows? Car never runs the same after it's been involved in an accident. So I expect a discount. I know most consumers out there would expect a discount. And so you're entitled to reimbursement or compensation for that discount that you'd have to give if you were to go sell the car. And here's the thing, you might think this might be minimal. Depreciation in value accounts for hundreds or even thousands of dollars off the value of your vehicle. You do not want to leave this on the table, and insurance companies are betting on you not knowing about this. You need to push for it. All right, finally, tip number 5, you need to know when to push back. Here's the truth. Insurance companies expect you to roll over. They expect you to accept their first offer, use their body shop, forget about diminished value, and move on. But you don't have to. And in Georgia, you've got leverage. Now, here are the situations when you want to push back. When the insurance company's got your car valued too low, if the repairs are taking too long, if your rental period is being cut short for whatever reason, if you feel ignored, delayed, or underpaid. And if they're not cooperating with any of those things, make sure you file a complaint with the Georgia Department of Insurance or talk to a lawyer who handles accident-related claims even if there's no injury. We just covered the 5 tips for getting the most out of your property damage claim. But what if the insurance company flat out denies your claim? Check out this next video where I break down exactly what to do if the insurance company denies your car accident claim in Georgia.